I am recording this video to demonstrate in worlds like Beach Bonfire from the Minecraft store, which is an adventure type game that is intended to be played in the adventure mode, why one should not break blocks indiscriminately. Here I have very carefully deconstructed some elements of a front yard in this game, and I am getting ready to show you an extensive underground area that spans across approximately about this far and fairly deep. It lies under the yards and underneath the floors of the houses. And if any chain in the redstone mechanisms and command blocks down here, if any of that is broken, then the game will not work as intended. So I have come down below. The beam does not show until later in the game, and that is partly commanded by the command blocks that you will see down below. So the beacon is set on a 3x3 or 9 block setup of blocks of iron. So I have broken through, carefully peeled away this access to get into this underground part. Which is brilliant in itself, the design and programming is just absolutely magnificent. But what you don't usually see, even if you are able to get underneath some of these behind-the-scene redstone mechanisms and designs, what is especially brilliant is that there are so many signs that, and I'm not going to take time to go through all of this, but if you are interested in this type of thing, this is absolutely fascinating, and you can actually see some of the thinking and programming that must have gone into this game. And this is actually where I learned what was really wrong with some of the things I was doing before, and that for example, getting the couple to the party was definitely intended. Getting Odd John to the party in the Beach Bonfire game is intended, and it is programmed for. The other thing is some of the scenes that arise on the beach are actually stored under here. Let me go around, and these will emerge at different days of the week and at different times. You can see also that some of these command blocks are also carefully labeled, Kate. So it doesn't tell you exactly, like I could not recreate this just from looking at this, but it does show the magnificent work and brilliance that went into the design of this game. So a whole lot of this is labeled, and if you wanted to spend time and had questions trying to figure out what is intended and not intended, some of those answers might be found in this particular aspect. One of the things I frequently do in Minecraft is to put in a sunflower so I know what direction I am looking into, what's north, west, east, and south. And again, I want you to get the idea of, although we started out under a backyard, this underground area with all these blocks and commands and redstone mechanisms really extends fairly deep back under the floor, under the houses, and also very wide across. One of the things that I found very charming was that when Meredith and Charles are not on the beach, they are actually down here by design. And I thought that was very sweet and very interesting. I have looked for Odd John down here at various times. Move Kate. Let's look at Move Kate. So Kate moves from the general's store at the beginning and during a few early days and then she moves even farther away to the actual bonfire later on. There are some things that I don't know. Open Brawley 1, I don't know what a Brawley is. So I have no idea what that is about. Over here you can see some of the redstone mechanisms. I thought I saw John's name pop up somewhere. Not everything has a name on it, but it is interesting just to scroll over. Oh, look, here is the bed. If you destroy the bed, or as in creative mode, I did in some versions, I didn't like the bed. I wanted to create my own room, but in the process of doing that, the game didn't work quite as expected. But here you can see when you first start the game, what looks like wool carpet over the blocks, and then when nighttime comes you press the button and the bed pops up. Here is where that is stored, and the programming and design is made possible by all of these command blocks and possibly some redstone mechanisms that are behind the scenes and underground. Right now I'm particularly looking for Odd John. I have found him before. I'm not finding him. Kindle Collect. If and when you find Lucy in this game, you will have to collect Kindle for Lucy, and that works very similar to the way the seashells work. So the point here is to show that if you decide to redecorate or redo any parts of this game, if you decide in survival mode that you're going to break anything in this game, you will disrupt the intended adventure part of the game, and if any of these aspects get broken, or even blocks broken where these aspects are supposed to be, and you may not be able to identify exactly where that is, the particular intent will not move John, move Lucy. I did find blocks that were labeled Invite John and something like John Accepts. So the point here is to be aware that if you want the adventure to work as intended, you have to be very careful in this game so that you don't interfere with the brilliant programming that made it possible. And now I'll pan around for a lovely look at this nice little island and beach in the evening. Thank you. Goodbye. Oh, and lastly, before I do say goodbye, I do have another video that shows a run-through of the game that spells out more about what I have mentioned in this video.